there, I'm Sandy Reese, Chief Encouragement Officer here at Get Fully Funded, where we help small nonprofits learn how to raise the money they need to fully fund their mission. I'm here to help you learn how to master the art and science of fundraising, and I've got a great tip for you in just a moment. But before we get to that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that the next time we post a really great tip like this one, you're among the first to know. Okay, on to this week's tip.
Sometimes people ask me for fundraising ideas, and usually they're looking for ideas for virtual fundraisers or online events or in-person events or things like that. And regardless of what you're thinking about doing, if you're looking for the one fundraiser that raises the most money beyond everything else, there's really not one. It really depends on your situation and a couple of variables that I want to talk about today. I have seen everything be crazy, wildly successful, and I've seen everything fail. So it's not like, oh, if you do this kind of golf tournament, you'll be crazy successful. It doesn't work that way. Can some organizations raise a lot of money with a golf tournament? Yes. Same with a 5K, same with an auction, same with a dance, a gala, you name it. A lot of times it has to do with the amount of effort and energy you put into it and the reach that you have and the vibe you're trying to create with your event. That's a whole nother story. What I want to talk to you about today is how do you pick the right event? It really depends on several things, but there's 4 criteria that I use when I'm working on a committee or I'm working with a client to try to pick an event. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that, number one, sounds like fun to me. If I'm on the committee and I'm going to be working hard to put this event together, I need this to be fun. I don't want to work on something that feels hard or feels like drudgery or feels like I'm not really sure this is going to work. You probably know what I'm talking about. As I think about different events that I've worked on as part of the committee, when the event was fun and the committee was gelling and we were having a good time, it was not work. It was play. And that's a great place to be. That's when a committee is going to be successful, is when they feel like they're playing, not working. So first thing is you want it to be fun for you. If it doesn't sound like fun to you, I'm going to ask you, why are you doing it then? Number 2, is it fun for your participants or your guests? Most fundraisers, online events and things like that are designed to have an element of fun. There are serious events that you can do, and let's set those aside for a minute, and those can work really well. But for most everything else, the bulk of fundraisers and events usually have an element of fun. So you want to think about, how fun is this going to be for our guests or our audience or our participants? If it's not going to be fun for them, or if it's complicated or convoluted, you want to rethink this because it needs to be fun for them. If you want them to buy a ticket, it's got to be attractive. And listen, fun is very attractive. All right, so it's got to be fun for you, fun for your audience. The third thing is it's got to generate the kind of results that you're looking for. So if this is meant to be a fundraiser, it's got to bring in some big bucks, which means you can't do something that's going to be a nickel and dime activity. It can't be just a couple $100 because, y'all, that is not worth the time. Your time is your most precious resource, and you could be using that time to do something else that would generate thousands of dollars. You can't do something that you're going to work really, really hard and only get a couple $100 out of it. Sometimes I call those heart sink activities because when you do it and then you look at the results, your heart sinks because you know you just worked really hard. So you have to try to think about what the revenue possibilities are as you look at different kinds of virtual fundraisers or online events. What are the possibilities there? Can you see a path forward where that activity could generate $5,000, $10,000 or more? Is there an opportunity for sponsors? Is there an opportunity for an auction or games or something else where you could add more and more and more money to the bottom line? So you have to look at it. You have to think about what's possible and what do you think realistically that you can do. This is not about hope. This is about projection. This is about based on your experience and what you've done before, maybe your committee, if you have a committee, What do you think is possible? So you're looking for an activity that's going to bring you the best results possible. So fun for you, fun for your audience, best results possible, and then this might sound a little weird, but least amount of input in terms of the time and energy and money you're going to have to spend to make the whole thing a big success. Now, I'm not saying don't spend money on it. I'm not saying this needs to be something you're only going to spend an hour, but you need to evaluate how much time, energy, and money is it going to take to raise what you're trying to raise. Usually on an event, you want to try to get your return on investment or ROI to be 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1 or more. In other words, if you spend $1,000 and you make $1,100, that's not a successful event in my book. That's not a successful fundraiser. If you spend $1,000 and you make $10,000, that's much better. And that one, I would say, let's look at that and see how we can crank that up so that can be even more successful for you. So watch that ROI, watch your return on investment as well. Okay, so fun for you, fun for your guests, greatest possible results, and best possible ROI. So least investment of energy, time, and money. There you go. Now, if you're really looking for practical ideas, I get that. And I'm an idea person, so I have some ideas for you. In just a second, I'm going to drop a link in here that can take you over to an article on our blog where we will give you a dozen ideas for virtual fundraisers and online events.